What is up, Budget Billies? Trail here, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your third and your fourth stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Friday, April the 23rd. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, you ain't got no job, and your stimulus check just arrived, so it's time to go shopping. Yeah, right. Those third stimulus checks were only $1,400. That money is going to be spent on paying bills and rent. So no time for shopping, guys. The IRS just sent out the sixth batch of stimulus payments to Americans. Some went out via direct deposit and others went out by mail to individuals. We have some updated news regarding the $200 monthly Social Security benefits, and we have some news surrounding the GOP introducing a skinny infrastructure bill as they are trying to stop the progress around Biden's infrastructure bill. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, and stimulus update news. So if you are interested in any of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. Also, if you end up liking the content in this video or even laughing at one of my jokes, then be sure to like this video. Other than that, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, guys, the House voted to pass legislation on Thursday to make Washington, D.C. the 51st state in the nation. That bill will now be sent over to the Senate for their approval. The important part about this bill being passed is it could end the filibuster that requires most legislation to clear a 60-vote hurdle. The House voted 216 to 208. The White House declared its support to this legislation on Tuesday, saying that it will provide the residents of the district with long overdue representation in Congress. Well, folks, we could have 51 states for the first time in this country. That's pretty amazing. Does this mean we may see other states split up in the future? Some of the larger states like California or even Texas? Only time will tell. Okay, guys, so the third stimulus checks are still being sent out to Americans, according to the IRS. Yesterday, they dispersed 2 million stimulus payments from the American Rescue Plan. This is the sixth batch of payments so far, for a total of 161 million payments valued at $379 billion. Those payments were processed on Friday and sent out on yesterday. Some will be receiving these by direct deposit into your accounts, and others are going to be by mail. The IRS did say that some of these payments are still for the supplemental payments or Social Security recipients, or as the IRS calls them, Social Security beneficiaries. They also included more plus-up payments as a result from the 2020 tax returns. So the IRS continues to crank out tax refunds, stimulus payments, and plus-up payments all at the same time. And soon, they will be sending out summer stimulus checks from the Child Tax Credit program. Those should start going out in July. So from all of this news, it kind of sounds like it is just raining stimulus checks everywhere. Now, I do want to address a comment that was made earlier this week about me referring to the Child Tax Credit as stimulus checks. Well, the reason being is because this was only possible because of the American Rescue Plan, or the third stimulus package. This bill was created to provide relief aid to Americans, and because of this bill, they were able to pass a way for Americans to receive recurring payments in the form of a check, which is the Child Tax Credit, that you can actually see and hold in your hand. This is direct money that you can actually hold and go use to put food on the table, versus the normal way that we've seen in the past for these child tax credits that come in the form of a credit on your tax return, which we don't receive any direct relief money from it directly in our hands. I hope that explains it, guys. This week, President met with Republican lawmakers to discuss the terms of the infrastructure bill and to come up with a compromise. But instead, the GOP introduced a skinnier infrastructure bill worth $568 billion in spending. Here we go again, guys. The GOP did the same thing, compromising tactic on the last two stimulus bills, and it backfired on them. Biden's bill was worth $2.3 trillion, and the GOP introduced a bill a quarter of the size of Biden's plan. This is not a compromise. This is completely changing the narrative. But of course, the Democrats responded that this bill is far too small. The Democrats actually set a flame to their proposal before they even went over the details in this bill. Jen Psaki, the press secretary, had this to say.
Reaction to the plan, and do you guys see it as a legitimate starting point for a conversation?
We do. The president has said from the beginning that he would welcome any good faith effort to find common ground, because the only unacceptable step would be inaction. We've seen some top-line proposal or top-line details, as you all have reported on. We're looking forward to reviewing the details of the proposal. We would expect the next steps would be a full briefing and conversations on a staff level that will continue over the coming days, and an exchange of ideas from there. And then we'd also expect, I would expect, that you should all expect the president to invite members to the White House soon after the joint session address. But we certainly welcome any good faith effort and certainly see this as that, but there are a lot of details to discuss and a lot of exchanges of ideas to happen over the coming days.
So it's a starting point, considering the third stimulus checks are still going out right now. Lawmakers are moving very slow on passing additional legislation, i.e. a fourth stimulus package. But a fourth stimulus check is very much needed. 21 senators in 15 states signed a letter and sent it over to President Biden, asking for reoccurring stimulus payments, as well as automatic unemployment extensions to be tied to the economic conditions in the Build Back Better plan. Senators continue to argue that the previous stimulus measures have shown multiple times that they actually help Americans storm the pandemic weather, and they continue to keep households and the economy afloat. There are supporting evidence that when Americans receive their stimulus checks of $1,400, $600, and $1,200, majority are spent right back into the economy, which helps businesses as well as the economy. So one more stimulus payment is definitely needed in this fourth stimulus package bill. But before we even get there, we have to go through the long drawn out negotiation process, which is a complete beating, guys. I hate it. Why can't all lawmakers just get along? Oh my bad. I forgot. This is America. Please forgive me. Now, about the $200 monthly Social Security benefits, this is finally getting some traction around the promise that President Biden made on the campaign trail. We now have Congress trying to figure out ways to repair the broken program. Mitt Romney released a new plan earlier this week called the Trust Act, a bipartisan coalition led by Mitt Romney to create a process to rescue the endangered federal trust funds and help the national debt. The Trust Act stands for Time to Rescue United States Trust. I actually like that name. Very creative. But this act is aimed to address the shortcomings of Social Security and other federal programs, which typically rely on trust funds. We know that the Social Security benefits is set to expire in the near future if we don't do something about it right now. And so far, no one has even wanted to do anything about it. And that's why Mitt Romney is my favorite Republican senator. He actually cares about the people, I believe. But within the bipartisan group, each team will be tasked to handle each failing trust program, and then to figure out how to save the program as well as to build it back up once again, which they will have to write legislation to implement new changes that improve the longevity of the program. In the official statement by Romney, this is what he said.
There is broad recognition that we need to address the looming insolvency of our federal trust funds. Getting our country through the pandemic has required us to borrow trillions of dollars, which has in turn threatened essential programs like Medicare and Social Security. Congress must respond in a way which will address this long-term problem, which is coming down the pike much sooner than was expected. Our Trust Act is a bipartisan solution which will shore up our federal trust funds and put us on a path toward a stronger fiscal future.
And then also, Joe Manchin is also a co-sponsor of this Trust Act, and this is what he had to say.
Future generations of Americans should not be burdened by our poor financial decisions today. Generations of irresponsibly cutting taxes combined with spending beyond our means has left the important programs on which we all depend, Medicare, Social Security, highways, and pensions, on the brink of insolvency. We must work to put the federal budget back on track to reflect our priorities while being fiscally responsible. It is past time we got our fiscal house in order, and I am proud to join my bipartisan colleagues in reintroducing this legislation to put our budget back on track.
So, we have some good leaders leading this Trust Act bill to fix the broken Social Security program as well as other trust funding programs. Now, hopefully the president can get behind this bill with his support, along with the $200 monthly increase. Then our country will be headed in the right direction. Progress is good. We have a lot more that's needed though. We still have the third stimulus checks going out and we need at least one more stimulus check. We need seniors and Social Security recipients to get a monthly increase of $200. And we need all of you to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, hey, that's all I have for you today, guys. This has been your third and your fourth stimulus check update for today. If you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community. And hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.